Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hands. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our guide through countless hours. To our leaders, great defenders, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be all forever. Jamaica, and we love Jamaica, Jamaica.
Woo, 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 Lyman with Danelle. We are at the Chateau Cristal with the Jamaican Foundation of Houston to celebrate 63 years of independence. We are here to celebrate and have a wonderful time. Come and let me show you all what it is all about with our brothers and sisters from Jamaica.
So I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome Samantha Hughes to the podium. Thank you, Camion. Thank you, thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's so happy to have you all here. Welcome to the Jamaica Foundation of Houston Annual Gala. Thank you all for coming. I hope everyone is well, and I appreciate all our distinguished guests, friends, and supporters. So tonight, we are delighted to have you here. We're here to celebrate Jamaica's rich heritage, our vibrant culture, and our resilient spirit. Tonight, we gather not only to honor the journey of Jamaica, but also to support the continued growth and development of our beloved homeland through education, community programs, and cultural initiatives. Your presence and your contributions make a meaningful difference in the lives of many Jamaicans here in the Houston community and those that are still abroad. Let's take this evening to reflect on our roots, celebrate our achievements, and look forward to a future filled with promise. Thank you for your unwavering support and dedication to Jamaica's progress. Enjoy a wonderful evening of fellowship, culture, and giving. And we will be wishing Jamaica a happy 63rd independence. So we're looking forward to that. Yes, yes, yes. Big up Jamaica, yes. So I would like to introduce to you the talented and vibrant Bayou City Brass Band. Known for their energetic performance and soulful melodies, the distinguished ensemble brings a true blend of traditional brass sounds and contemporary flair. Hailing from Houston, Texas, the Bayou City Brass Band has made a name for itself through lively performances that celebrate community, culture, and musical excellence. warmly welcoming Dr. Nicole Bent-Jones as she shares her insights and visions for the future of our foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Nicole Bent-Jones.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hughes. Welcome, welcome. As president of this esteemed organization, I continually am inspired by the dedication and support of our community here in Houston. Each effort reflects our shared commitment to fostering cultural pride, educational excellence, and community growth. This year has been marked by significant milestones. In January, we participated in the 31st annual MLK Parade and supported the Let's Connect with Ambassador Marks event. February's general meeting featured Honorary Consul for Jamaica, Attorney K. Omari Fullerton. March saw us at the International Art and Kite Festival, showcasing our vibrant culture. In April, we welcomed performances by renowned Jamaican dub poet Malachi D. Smith and Mr. Peter Gracie from the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council. May was a busy month with our Scholarship Awards luncheon, where we awarded 10 scholarships to promising college students. We also had in May the 5K Walkathon and High Five Run Walk in collaboration with the consulate. June's general meeting featured YouTuber Ms. Carrera of Lining with Danelle, and followed by Billy Banton. Billy Banton, I see you somewhere, yes, right there. All right, there you go. All right, so today, July 26th, we celebrate Jamaica's independence. It's the highlight of the year. And as the year concludes, please remember our upcoming November 21 elections and the December holiday party. Perfect opportunities to connect with one another. So tonight we celebrate Jamaica's 63rd year of independence. Jamaica's journey to independence. It's a story of resilience, unity, and determination. On August 6, 1962, after centuries of colonial rule, Jamaica proudly declared its sovereignty, marking a new chapter as a free nation. This historic moment was a culmination of years of struggle by Jamaican patriots and visionaries who believed in the right to self-determination. Since then, Jamaica has continued to grow and evolve, embracing its rich cultural heritage while forging a path towards progress and prosperity. Our independence remains a symbol of hope, resilience, and enduring spirit of the Jamaican people. Right? That's true? All right. Jamaica's progress in education, tourism, renewable energy, and innovation continues to showcase the ingenuity and resilience of our people. Meanwhile, our diaspora here in Houston grows stronger each day, creating a vibrant bridge that unites our two worlds. Together we celebrate the rich heritage of a promising future of Jamaica and its people. I want to take a moment to honor foundational values that guide us. I want to thank my parents, my brother, his family, for teaching me the importance of education and hard work and giving back to society. Your influence has helped shape the person I am today. I want to thank my husband and my daughters. Thank you for your love, your patience, and support. Your encouragement fuels my passion for this work and reminds me daily of the importance of family and community. I also want to acknowledge and thank our dedicated board members. Board members in the room, if you can stand. All right, they're busy working. We want to thank our donors and sponsors. Your generosity empowers us to continue our initiatives, from cultural events to educational programs to community outreach. Your support is surely making a difference. Together we're building bridges connecting Jamaica with Houston, enriching our cultural tapestry and empowering our future generations. We are guided by the spirit of unity, pride, and service. In closing, I echo the timeless Jamaican adage, one cocoa full basket. So small efforts by many can lead to great achievements. Let us continue to work together, building bridges of understanding, pride, and progress. And thank you for being a part of this special event this evening, for your ongoing support. May this night be filled with joy, camaraderie, and lasting memories. Blessings, and thank you.
At this time now, I'd also like to introduce Mr. Brian Pendleton. He is with the Precinct 4 Community Commissioner's Office, and he will present the Jamaica Foundation of Houston with a proclamation in honor of Jamaica's independence. Mr. Pendleton and with Dr. Nicole, would you like to come and receive this on behalf of the foundation, please? Welcome to the podium. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. And want to give thanks to you and for this great gala. This is my third straight year to attend, and I'm always honored. And as personally, as part of the African diaspora, I'm always honored to come and worship and get to know everyone here. So I just want to thank Madam President and everyone for that. And I have a few honors. One for the Jamaica Foundation of Houston for this annual gala and 63rd Independence Day on behalf of the team of County Commissioner Precinct 4 Leslie Briones. And one more final to your great president for all the great work and the leadership she's done for this organization. And I also want to give a big shout out to the Gala Committee. This is beautiful. I mean, I was definitely looking forward to come. I was trying to get here so fast, I almost ended up going to the previous one. Luckily, I was on I-10 and I said, I don't think it's this way this year. But I turned around, but Dr. Jones, thank you so much. And on behalf of the County Commissioner's Office, I'd like to honor you as well. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It is my pleasure to introduce Kevon Walden, our student speaker tonight. Kevon is a proud former scholarship recipient of the Jamaica Foundation of Houston, and he will be providing us with some inspiring words. And Kevon Walden, everyone.
Normally I would say hello, but as I say to my Jamaican family, what's I go on? My name is Kevon Walden, son of the soil, thanks to my mother and mentor, Lenore Romans, from the parish of St. James, Jamaica, and I'm honored to share a few words with you tonight. So you may be wondering where I've been. Back in 2019, I received a scholarship from the Jamaica Foundation, and to this day, that support has meant the whole world to me. It hasn't just been financial help, but it's been more. It's been a vote of confidence. It reminded me where I came from and that there's a whole community rooting for me. Since then, I've completed my Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering, earned my Master's in Biomedical Engineering, and I'm still pushing forward to doing my PhD. Never stop drinking big. So, I want to share a few lessons I've learned along the way. Education is a foundation. It gives you something solid to stand on. Something new. It allows you to build a career. It allows you to find your way. Everyone needs that base, that ground foundation, a platform to jump higher. Next, education creates space to discover your future. Going to college didn't just teach me formulas and theories, it gave me a time and the ability to expose myself to new opportunities. So it allowed me to explore, fail, and ultimately figure out what I love. It helped me to find my passion. And lastly, find your why. Don't wait. Your why doesn't have to look like anyone else's. This is something that you go out, you find, and you build and work upon. Mine has been about giving back, making my family proud, and using engineering to impact lives around me through innovation. That purpose has kept me going through tough days, and trust me, there's been plenty. In closing, I just want to thank everyone here and the Jamaica Foundation of Houston for believing in me. You planted a seed, and that seed is still growing. And to anyone listening who has the power to support a student just like myself, please keep doing it. You're not just giving money, you're helping write someone's story. And to the future scholars, believe in yourself. Step into the future with boldness. Thank you.
Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, when we do donate to organizations like the Jamaica Foundation of Houston, we do see the fruits of our labor. So thank you, Kevon, and we continue to appreciate you and pray for you for continued goodness. And to his family in the back, big ups, big ups, big ups. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is Sharon Angleton. She oversees our youth group. And Sharon and our talented youth will be presenting a cultural performance tonight, celebrating our rich heritage. Let's give a warm round of applause as they take the stage to share their vibrant talents. Yes!
When we talk about Jamaica, we must also understand that we are talking about Africa. Jamaica is not simply influenced by Africa, it is Africa reborn in the Caribbean. As our ancestors were ripped from the shores of West Africa, their spirit survived in aspects such as food, music, and dances. Kumina is a perfect example of this. It is an Afro-Jamaican religious practice that combines music, dance, and ancestral worship, primarily centered in St. Thomas Parish. This particular dance is choreographed by the Keynote of a United Caribbean Dance Force, along with the Antoinette Style, which is what our dancers will be performing today.
to, we have a few donations here for the raffle. So I would like to give a second door prize to someone that came and they were able to provide the most tickets for tonight's event. And this prize would go to Wade and Janet Campbell. Are you still present? Wade and Janet Campbell. If you would both or one of you would like to come and represent and receive your prize. It is actually an Avon Far Away here in Bonnie Mist. It's an Avon Night Magic Women's Cologne Gift Bag from Toasty on Avon online store. So you will be able to find the Avon product at Toasty on Avon online store. So Mr. and Ms. Campbell, thank you so very much. If we could come in front. Yes, thank you so much, so much, so much. We so appreciate you and your efforts. Thank you, thank you. If you take your photo, please. For our keynote speaker, Dr. Sean O. Smart.
Wow. So, whenever you get these invitations to talk, there's always this question of like, what exactly are you going to talk about? Like, how are you going to, for me anyways, like, how am I going to approach this? It was interesting because recently my family has been a lot of death. And you combine that with what's happening in this country, I started looking more to understand my family's history and Jamaica's history. So what I'm going to do tonight is talk to you about what I've learned about our history, how it ties into my family, and how some lessons from our ancestors still guide me and maybe be helpful to you. So the way we start this off, I have to take you to where I'm from. So more so than I know that they call War Hill. Now where's War Hill? To the non-Jamaicans, War Hill is in the mountains overlooking Kingston. To the Jamaicans, they get on Red Hills Road, and they go all the way up. Then you pass Red Hills, they go Raffle. Then when you pass Raffle, then you'll get to War Hill. Not Carry Hill, but War Hill. Just before you get to Sligo Hill. See, and the reason why that matters is, the people that don't know, War Hill is a very poor area. We're farmers. I grew up carrying tomatoes and carrying water. We have one running pipe in the yard, and the pipe, we didn't have the stuff on the hose stem, so the pipe, you leave it on, and when water starts running, everybody has to go carry water. And if water would come for a while, we had to go to this place. Now, I never understood how we knew where this was, but we call it Madawa. Madawater. It was a spring 2 miles downhill in the Jamaican rainforest. It's a funny thing, right? Because even to this day, like a couple, like last year, I took my 2 American-born brothers, because I'm like, you need to know where this is. And I don't know how, I still remember how to get there. It's just something. So I remember sitting down with my Uncle 20, who's a Rasta. He's like, but Rasta is the history of the family, right? You know everything, the history of the area, and we're going to talk about it. So I wanted to understand how did my family end up here? Why did we have so much land up here? And how do we even know where this spring is? Well, the interesting thing about it is when he started telling me was my great-grandmother was, I always get this, how I struggle with this word, Taino, the Native Americans, Native Jamaicans. So that's when my ancestors first came to that area. But the other interesting part that we started talking about is when we started looking at the rest of Jamaican history, right? No, whenever I heard the word Maroons, I never truly understood what that meant. But as I'm looking into it and understanding our history, you have to realize Jamaica went through many different phases. There were pirates, then it was controlled by the Spanish, then the British. All that time though, there was black people, Spanish people, and Native people living together in the mountains. So he was telling me was all up here because there was a spring. We were always up here. The British couldn't get up here because right now he was driving up there. Most people don't want to drive up there. Nevertheless, you imagine how hard it must have been to get up there then. So we talked about how, the Maroons, and if you know Jamaica, the Maroons are basically free people. They were slaves, but they weren't all just slaves. You even had white people who joined the Maroons. You had Europeans who were indentured servants who would tan themselves and hide with Maroons. And so you had this melting pot already forming in the mountains, right? So then, you had the first Maroon. The first Maroon War was like 1728 to 1739. And they get in the mountains, there, and they get into cockpit country. That's how they stayed, and the British couldn't beat them. Eventually, they formed a little treaty. The thing about that is, then you get into the next big revolution. Also, this area was important, the Taki Revolution. Now, the years of all of this matters, and I'll tell you why. So the Maroon Revolution was in 1728. The Taki Revolution, led by General Taki, was in 1760. Now Taki, as well as a lot of the Maroons, were Akan. Now as the dancer said before, Akan were people from the western side of Africa, present-day Ghana. Why does that matter? So the interesting thing that I started learning was that what made our people so freaking special, from 1704 to 1724, there was a man that was essential to Jamaican history. We all celebrate him, but very few actually know why we celebrate that day. Everybody ever heard of John Keynote? Everybody celebrates John Keynote. Do you know that was a person? John Keynote was an Akan king who from 1704 to 1724 defeated the British and ended the slave trade. When they captured these lieutenants, guess where they took them? Jamaica. They didn't want to mix them with the rest of them. That's who Taki was. That's who some of the Marines were. These were trained military people who knew how guerrilla warfare, knew how to sail. And I'll get to that already. When he died in 1725. So the interesting part about it, the reason we celebrate John Keynote was that our ancestors believed that he was going to eventually bring his fleet and come free them. The whole aspect of the mask and everything that we see, everybody said a Duffy celebration, it is West African, specifically Yoruba from Nigeria, which is a celebration of our ancestors. Our ancestors were celebrating John Keynote. He was their liberator, their hope. So when he died, they had to change approach, but they had purpose. Our people were always driven with purpose, and they persevered. They fought. Even after Taki was defeated, Jamaicans would send troops and leaders to Haiti to help in their revolution. So what I'm getting at is you start putting this picture of a people with purpose, perseverance, determination, but then also brilliance. The next thing I realized was I wanted to understand, like, how did they pull all of this off? And I came across this brilliant set of writings. There was Dr. Julius S. Scott, a Duke historian, wrote it in the 80s and most people ignored it. He wrote this book called Trade Winds. What was so amazing, it's like our ancestors had to change perspective. They were fighting head-on battles and they were losing. So what Dr. Scott found out was that what they did, they created this vast spy network that extended all the way to Europe. You had Jamaicans who were a Caribbean people who spoke French, Spanish, and English, which when Dr. Scott wrote about it, the British and the colonizers, they did not understand how they understood all languages. But what was happening was Haitians, Jamaicans, and Cubans were united. They were fighting together. They taught each other. Then they taught each other what they needed to do next. So they were able to learn, change perspective, figure out how to combat this, and create networks. Like, if you ever get a chance, you should go through that document. There are times when masters are like, okay, we're going to keep this information from them. We're not going to tell them we don't agree with what the Crown or what Spain or what France was doing, so we're not going to tell them. One time, the slaves basically said, they put up signs and said, we know what happened, and if you don't implement it, they drew a picture of what's going to happen to you. Think about that. Think about the type of people we come from. They were enslaved, but they were telling the masters, you're going to do this because we know what they ruled in Europe. Right? And when they of course, when they tried to catch the slaves who were, when they found out about these slaves that were able to move between the continents, of course they tried to catch them and kill them because those people were amazing. But that's where we come from. They figured out what they needed to fight for. They kept fighting. They looked at, they changed perspective, fought in whatever ways they needed to. So what we talked about so far was purpose, perseverance, and perspective. The other thing that you have to understand about Jamaica is how friggin' unique we are. So I talk about the Taino people who are there. I talk about the escaped slaves. But here's the other interesting thing that I learned that I was really reading Dr. Scott's paper. Jamaica was also connected to the U.S. There was an underground railroad because remember, Jamaica was a pirate haven. So they knew how to sail. Not just Jamaica, but all of the Caribbean. They would sail up, especially after Haiti got his freedom. They would sail up, which is why the U.S. actually had to put an embargo ships around Haiti at one point. But we used to sail up and bring our people back. And what's other interesting thing was after America defeated the British, guess what happened? A lot of the British took their around 10,000 black American slaves and brought them to Jamaica. So you start realizing Jamaica is this real melting pot of cultures and ideas. Then in 1853, around 1854, you start adding a little spice to it. You had the first Chinese Jamaicans coming to the island. And now, this is where it gets interesting, right? Because they were indentured servants, but they were only men. So you had a true mixing of the races back then, right? So you start realizing Jamaica started becoming just such a unique place where it truly represented its motto, out of many, one people. And that's the thing about Jamaica that I started realizing. And in all of that, we were at peace. Like you look at this now and you see all the conflict happening here in this country with all the, the attack on the minorities, but you look at Jamaica and you see all these people, all these different cultures that were brought in. And we have integrated every one of them into our culture. I remember one time in Houston, I went to a grocery store and I was buying a whole bunch of stuff, ginger, and this old Chinese woman was behind me, and she looked at me and she was like, "You shop like you're Chinese." And I was like, "I'm Jamaican, it's part of us." But that's the thing, right? That's what Jamaica is just this special place, and those are the things, when you listen to Bob Marley and you hear One Love, that's what makes it special, that's what radiates. So when I think back over my career and I look at everything, I realize the keys and the similarities was purpose. The first thing, purpose. It's, everybody says they want to make money, but if your goal in life, what I realized at a young age, is to get an A or to make, you lose focus. I never cared about making the grade. I have actually never cared about making money. I actually never been my goal. But when my grandmother died, I promised her that I would take care of my family. Every time I failed, everything I struggled, that's all I remember. That has always been my purpose. My brothers, my mother, my father, my stepdad, my stepmom, everyone. Purpose. You need something bigger than yourself to fight for. The other thing is perseverance. Our ancestors failed a lot. In life, we all fail. Like, the thing that people don't tell you, especially to the younger people in the crowd, failure is a part of success. Fear, oh God, fear is a part of success. I remember once, I called my dad, I was taking another standardized test. One of my scores, I failed a couple of them. And I'll never forget this, because my dad is not a man of many words like most Jamaicans at many times. And he really, on the phone, he was just like, yeah, afraid. Yeah, I was afraid. So what? He was like, you know, at the end of the day, you just have to decide if you're not going to let the fear stop you, or you're not going to use it to do something. And that was it. And you know, to some people it may sound hard, but it was just a matter of like, okay, everybody afraid, but you're not going to go it. So it's always that perseverance through failures, through fears. And then you start getting to the point where, as you fail sometimes and you're getting back up, one advice I give my brothers, my younger brothers, is that I found to the point when you look at people, everybody has a special skill about them. Everybody has something that they do above average. The thing is, you have to find what that is, and when those moments are lost, that kind of has to be your bedrock. To me, I'm stubborn. Like, I'm stubborn, and I feel like no matter what, you give me enough time, I can figure everything out. So no matter like how many times I failed a test or failed a standard, like I literally failed. So the licensing test is like step 2. There's 3 steps. I failed step 2 twice. Got almost a perfect score on the third time. Because every time I adjusted how I studied, it was like, okay, I just need to figure out how to study. Because I believe in the core fact that I can learn anything if I give myself time. Then you get into patience. When I was a kid once, I was at a bus stop, and I'm always moving. This man come up to once and say, you could never be a doctor because you don't have patience. And he's right, like I'm not the one known to sit still. That's why I had 3 majors. I told people if I took one, I would probably fail out of college. But the thing I've learned in what I do is that patience in life and in everything is essential. Like I tell my patients and I tell my residents that I don't fix the body. All we do, and all your doctors do at times, is hopefully remove what is harming the body to give the body time to heal itself. And why does that matter? Well, at Memorial Hermann at UT, I get patients from all over this region who other doctors have tried to treat. And if something's not going right, and I have to figure out, do I need more treatment or I need to give them time? And a lot of times, the hardest thing to do as a doctor is to do nothing and just wait. And that's the thing in life that sometimes is the hardest thing to do. You're like, you want to go there, but you sometimes just like, let it develop, let the play develop, let everything lay out in front of you. Right? You gotta be patient. The other thing, and I'm gonna spend a little bit more than the others in this one, is perspective. Perspective. Perspective is the ability to see the world from a point of view that is different than yours. Now, you know, everybody will talk about how they have enemies. What I've learned in life is most of us There is nobody sitting around plotting about how they're going to ruin your life or what they're going to do against you. Most people are just trying to get through life just like you are. Right? It's like on the highway. Do you think that person got up and said, ooh, I'm going to cut you off today? No, they're just trying to get to work or get where they are and they forgot. But that's what life is, right? Sometimes people do harmful things to you, not because they're trying to hurt you, because sometimes they're going through a bad day. Or they just, at that time, your interest and their interest just didn't align. But having perspective and being able to accept the fact that everybody who you and them may not be aligned, may not be your enemy, has been very helpful to me. It allowed me to walk in situations and say, okay, I understand that this didn't work out. Let's see how we can work together and do something else. The other thing I've learned about perspective, there are times when I have patients who their entire nervous system has, their peripheral nervous system, I mean the nerve in their legs, have been damaged. And they feel nothing. Now, we have to treat this before it spreads to the rest of the body. The thing is though, once you treat this, when the nerve starts coming back, it is extremely painful. And this is where perspective is a beautiful thing. When I go to the room and the patient starts complaining about the pain, I start smiling. And they look at me like I'm crazy because I'm like, the pain is good. It's letting you know that your nerves are coming back. And now when I come to the room and they talk about their pain, they're not complaining about it. Their perspective changed. That's the important thing about being able to see things. Sometimes negative things that happen to you. It may seem bad at the moment, but just wait. I'm going to tell you a story. Sometimes I get emotional with this, but I want to share it. A couple years ago, I had one of my most difficult cases. It was an 18-year-old kid died on it. It was hard because it was something that was treatable. The problem was, it took him a while to come to us. By the time he came to us, I was able to make the diagnosis. Thought I did everything perfect. He was getting better. After like a week and a half, then his heart just gave up. What made it, and still makes it a little bit harder at times, the family was grateful to me. Because I made the diagnosis that others of this, and I gave them some time, because what was happening was his body was eating away at his brain. So he was initially diagnosed as psychiatric, but the father and the mother refused to accept the diagnosis, so they shopped around until somebody realized he had what we call encephalitis. Meaning his body was attacking his brain. So for at least a couple days, the father was like hugging me and saying thank you, because he at least had a couple days with his son. Now, I can tell you, logically I can say, well, whatever happened, the encephalitis destroyed his automatic nervous system, and that led to his heart to fail. But all I felt at that time was I missed something. Like, I made a mistake. So I learned everything about that disease. 3 years later, had a 22-year-old, exact room, exact diagnosis. This time I knew exactly what to do. I was extra cautious with her blood pressure, made sure she got enough fluid. I wanted to protect her heart at every given cost, because I knew how the last one died. So when he died, that was the worst thing that ever happened to me in my career. But I learned from it. I made sure that this girl survived. The thing got even more interesting because she didn't have insurance. And I would like to believe I would have done the same thing if this other guy didn't die on me before, but I refused to let her go home. Because I knew if she went home, even though the hospital was going to buy a bed for her, she wouldn't survive. And what really got me was, I thought this kid was like her brother or her fiance. Keep in mind, she had an encephalitis. She could not move. She could not talk. She was seizing. This young man sat at her bedside every day. There was no way I was going to let him lose his fiance. So I kept her in the hospital for a month. Lied, whatever I needed to do to make sure that the hospital couldn't discharge her. Until her mother was able to get her insurance. And a couple months ago, her mother sent pictures to me and the physical therapy team of them traveling and about to get married. But what I realized was that would have never happened if I didn't go through the pain and the experience that I had before. And that's the thing about life. Sometimes we dwell on what's wrong and what didn't happen instead of learning from it and gaining perspective so that the next time, the next situation comes, that we're better able to deal with it. And with all that, it gets to the last thing I learned from Master is finding peace, finding balance. The thing about life at times is that we can just get caught up in all the complexity of it all. But one of the best things I ever heard in my life that I stick to this day was from a dying 18-year-old patient when I was actually going to undergrad. They wanted us to meet somebody who's dying to have a difficult conversation. So she walks in the room and she looks at all of our faces. And she smiles and she said, "Why are y'all sad?" "I'm actually sad for you guys." And we were like, "What?" She was like, "I'm dying, but what I realized, because I'm dying, every little moment is amazing to me. Every sunrise, every smell." She was like, "I wish I could give you that. To understand how to appreciate every simple thing." But that was the amazing thing, right? That appreciation. So I try to take that moment every single day. When I go home, I take this moment, I walk out my car, and I grow flowers. I still try to do my little, gardens to remember that I'm a farmer. But I take those simple moments. And what I explain to my patients and to my residents is that I explain it as emotionally, we're all like a little cup. And the thing about it is when our cup is full, we don't control how it overflows. So you have to find moments to empty your cup. You have to figure out those things to keep you at peace, because when your body can no longer deal with the conflict, you're no longer in control. So what I learned from my ancestors was to have purpose, be patient, being able to learn different perspective, to persevere, but also to find peace. And when you put that all together, you come to this amazing thing of realization in life. The thing is, nobody can ever stop. The thing about the world and life, what they do is people put obstacles in your way. And all those obstacles are trying to do is convince you to quit. And when you get to that point and you realize that you're Jamaican, brilliant, hardworking, stubborn, hard-headed, and that when you set your mind to do something, you're going to make it happen, then you become unstoppable. And then you realize why Jamaicans, we're just a unique set of people that the world has never seen before. Thank you.
Dr. Camille McKenzie Reed.
Hi, Dr. Smart. Thank you for such an emotional speech. Thank you for taking us down history lane. Did not know we made it behind the down celebrations. Now I know. And of course, we are people with purpose. We persevere throughout, especially moving here to such a big high persevere. And I think it's so important to find peace, don't you think? Sometimes you just get up in the day and, as you said, smell the pumpkin, enjoy the birds, look at the blue sky and the clouds. So that's always our peace. It helps us love and persevere and meet our purpose. So with that, I want to give you a little clap to show our appreciation.
Mr. Fullerton is a citizen of the world, born in Jamaica, raised in New York, and now a resident of Texas for more than 34 years. Mr. Fullerton is the managing attorney at the Fullerton Law Firm and the Honorary Counsel of Jamaica in Houston, Texas. He was voted by Houston Magazine as one of the top criminal defense attorneys in Houston. He was also voted as the most influential Caribbean person in Houston by One Love Caribbean newspaper. He has successfully represented clients in immigration, litigation, criminal, and general litigation matters. Mr. Fullerton has received his Juris Doctorate with high honors in 1988, magna cum laude. He also graduated number 4 in his law school class. In college, Mr. Fullerton was the president and vice president of the student government. He helped to successfully lobby Congress to make Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day a national holiday. He was one of the leaders in the anti-apartheid movement in America that helped to free Nelson Mandela and dismantle South Africa's apartheid. He was president of the Student Bar Association and a member of the Thurgood Marshall School of Law Review. He is a member of the State Bar of Texas. He is admitted to practice in Texas, the United States District Court for the Southern and Eastern Districts of Texas, the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit, the United States Tax Court, and the United States Supreme Court of the United States of America. He is a life member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together with a warm welcome for Attorney Fullerton.
Give it up for our mistress of ceremony, Miss Samantha Lewis. Awesome job. I'm not going to be long because I know I'm ready to party. As she said, my name is K. Amari Fullerton. I'm known as K. Amari Fullerton. I'm the Honorary Counsel of Jamaica in Houston, Texas. And I see I always acknowledge, right, our community leaders because we work together as a team. But first, I want to acknowledge our president, the Jamaica Foundation of Houston president, Dr. Nicole Ben Jones. She has done such a wonderful job with the foundation and continue to lead it. Then also we have our banquet chair, Miss Colleen Rose. And you have the committees, you have your board. We have a wonderful board. We have our advisor, Mr. Andy Adams, our former president, continue to advise the foundation. Good evening. On behalf of the government of Jamaica, Sir Patrick Allen, our Governor General, Honorable Dr. Andrew Holness, our Prime Minister, and Attorney Kamina Johnson, our Minister of Foreign Affairs, our Ambassador Anthony Anderson, Ambassador to the United States, and our Consul General in in Miami, Oliver Mayer. I would like to welcome everyone here today. Good evening, everyone. And it's my pleasure to be here, to be with the Jamaican Foundation of Houston in celebration of our 63rd year of independence from Great Britain and 187-year freedom from slavery. Never forget that. Right? And I would like to welcome our community partners, Jamaica Nurses of Houston, Great of Houston. Stand up. All right. And we have our Vice President, Ms. Patrice Noel. And my sister is the president, but she's in Jamaica, Charlene Williams. And we have the Domino Club, Houston, Missouri City Domino Club. I'm pretty sure we have the ex-soldier association. And we have the different community group. We support each other, and we need to continue to do that. Okay? Our celebration of Jamaica's 63rd year of independence is a very significant milestone in our nation's history and calls for a moment of reflection on our inspiring journey that has shaped our nation. We are a resilient people and determined people, and we as Jamaicans have become a beacon of culture, strength, and indomitable spirit. The theme for this year's celebration is Be Proud, Be Bold in the black, green, and gold. And that's why I have our These words highlight the symbolism in our nation's flag. Black represent the strength and creativity of the Jamaican people. Green represent hope and our rich agricultural resources. And gold represent the sunshine and natural beauty of the island of Jamaica. The values that will continue to unite us as Jamaicans will be one love, unity, resilience, creativity, and our ongoing pursuit of building a better future for Jamaica and for our children. Happy 63rd Independence Day, fellow Jamaicans, friends, and family. And I have a birthday lady over, Mr. Nisha Francis. She's visiting from Jamaica. And we stand up. She's celebrating our birthday tonight. Is anybody else visiting from Jamaica? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Fullerton. We always such a pleasure to have your word. And on top of that note, I would like to present to our birthday woman visiting from Jamaica. Yes, our final door prize goes to you, ma'am, for a multitude of reasons. One, you've come the furthest today. So that is in itself. And secondly, it's just, we're glad to have you here to wish you a happy birthday with us. So if you would come, and I would like to present to you a Tagajay knitted hat. And if the knitter, I don't know if you, or the crocheter would please stand, she knitted this right here today. So this is an actual hand knitted item. It is a hat with the colors of Jamaica. So happy birthday. Thank you for coming and joining and celebrating our gala with us. And if you stay here, please, and take your photo. If the crochet, if you would like to come up and take a photo with her too, please, that would be awesome. Okay. Yeah, she does wonderful work. Thank you so much for donating that door prize for us. We really appreciate you. Oh, excuse me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. And that's it. That's the only Aretha I can do. Happy birthday. Thank you for coming. Have a good evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now coming to the close of this wonderful evening, and I would just like to express a heartfelt gratitude and thanks to each and every one of you for your presence, your generosity, and your support. Tonight's success is a testament to our shared commitment to our mission of promoting education, culture, and community development. Your contributions through sponsorships, donations, participation, continue to help us to make a meaningful impact on the lives of many. I also want to thank our volunteers, organizers, and everyone who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to create this memorable event. The Board of Directors for the Jamaica Foundation of Houston, if you could all come to the podium. President, Dr. Nicole Bent Jones. Vice President, Mr. Errol Englund. Treasurer, Ms. Judith Drummond. Secretary, Dr. Camion Mackenzie Reed. The directors, Mr. Peter Ford, Ms. Carlene Rose, Dr. Camille Gibson, and our honorary advisors, if you're here, Honorary Ms. Beverly Ford and Mr. Andy Adam, if you could all approach the podium so we can give you a round of applause. Thank you. These are the minds that bring us here together every year, year to year. They help to organize the different events that the Jamaica Foundation participates in. So we are very thankful to have them all here tonight, to be in their presence. And we look forward to what they'll be bringing us next year. I don't know what they're cooking up, but I'm sure I hope to see you all here to participate and support. I'd also like to acknowledge the Jamaica Foundation Scholarship Committee members. That job alone in itself is a task as they go through all the different applications and they choose those that will best reflect the sentiments of the Jamaica Foundation. I'd also like to thank the sponsors, Orange Dock, Honorable Counsel for Jamaica Attorney Fullerton, Association of Jamaica Nurses, Houston, Missouri City Domino Club, South Project, Texas, Mr. Adams, Dr. Vaz, owner of Jam and Kama, and our other sponsors and donors. Special thanks to DJ Paul Notch. We're about to really hear him in a few moments. Bayou City Brass Band, our booklet creators, Sylvanus Dene and Carly Rose, our student speaker, Kavon Walden, our youth group led by Sharon Englund, our area organizations and businesses, Dr. Ismay and Stan Reed. And thank you all for coming out tonight. We really appreciate you. We look forward to seeing you again next year. And now, I turn this over to our DJ, everyone's a doctor, Dr. DJ Paul Notch, why not? He is fantastic still. Thank you all for coming out. We look forward to seeing you next year.
All right.